He said to me, I get sweaty hands, I can't hold the mic. I get nervous. This morning I texted her and she says, I'm about ready to throw up. She is amazing. She lives in Capitola, Carina Reid. She is my new friend, and we have spent some lives together. And when I say lives, I mean on Instagram, where we're sitting there, and I think that we feed off of one another really, really well. We have this engagement that is fun, it's great interaction. And I asked her, I said, Carina, I've got a spot for you on the stage. I want you to speak. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. She was the only one that said no. And I said, well, I have an alternative plan to that. Over a year ago, in New York City, I was at this conference. There was just 30 of us in the room, and I met this gentleman to my left, your right, Dan Skoka from Long Island, New York. And we hooked up, and we started talking. We went to another event together. We were in Springfield, Missouri in September. Why, I have no idea, but we were there. We were at another conference, and we got together and we started talking. And we said, you know, there's a great connection among us. Like, we need to do something else. We need to do something more. We decided that we were going to do a podcast, which he named, rightly so, Dual Coast, East and West. In case I need to explain that to some of you. Dual Coast Podcast. And we've been doing that since January. And we're on every Tuesday morning live on Instagram. We have guests every other week. And so now, what we're going to do here is we've changed up the scenery up here on the stage. We're going to do a live podcast. It's right here on Instagram. To millions of people, Carina, around the globe. How does that make you feel right now? So I would like for you to welcome to the stage not only my podcast partner, Dan Skoka, but also personal trainer, health nut. She's out every day, 7 days a week, training people. She's making an impact. She was born with health, mental hurdles.
Thank you.
I said challenges to her the other day. She goes, not challenges. Or no. Illness. I said illness, sorry. And she corrected me, said challenge or hurdle is more appropriate. So, she was born in that. We're going to dive into that right now on our podcast, Dual Coast Podcast, right here on the stage. Welcome, fitness, 7 times in a row, personal trainer of the year, right here in Santa Cruz, Carina Reid.
Woo!
Close to that mic. Don't hold it.
I have all my...
Oh, okay. Do you have your sweat rag?
No.
We're going to sit close because we're sharing this mic on my right here.
Hi.
So this is Carina Reid, and
This is kind of fun.
this is great. This is cozy. So Carina, welcome to Dual Coast Podcast.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Russ.
Guys, very special episode of Dual Coast this morning. We are live at the Impact Santa Cruz Physical and Mental Wellness Summit right now. Thrown together by my partner right here, Russ Rogers. Very special guest next to us, Carina Reid right here. And as always, how I say, Russ, how you feeling?
I feel amazing. How do you feel?
I'm feeling great.
You know, yesterday you were a little tired.
Sure.
You got in, flew all day from New York,
For sure.
right?
For sure.
You got here, you drove the coast, right?
Did.
My recommendation. It was beautiful.
Agreed.
And then he says to me, once they got here, you know, it's kind of cold here. I go, well, anything's colder than New York in the summer, right? Because it's like, you know, very humid back there. And here we don't have it. So we're on average about 68 degrees. And so we're having a great time. And we are blessed to have you. And you are going to bless those that are here, including us, Dual Coast Podcast at Impact Santa Cruz today. So Carina Reid,
Wow.
welcome.
Thank you.
You were born into having some mental hurdles,
Absolutely.
challenges right from the get-go. Can you share with us a little bit about those challenges that you were born with?
Well, right from the start, I felt different. And as a kid, you want to blend in. You don't want to look different. You don't want to feel different. And my parents didn't really help me out on that. I remember times, camping trips and going places with other kids, and all the other kids got to run around, and my mom, because of her drinking and everything else, wanted me in one zone. So she actually had a dog run from a tree to a tree where she put me. And so not only did I feel like I didn't fit in on the inside, I was definitely not making friends and fitting in on the outside. So that's kind of how I came into this life. And I actually, in June, will be celebrating 18 years clean and sober. That was the next thing, is trying to numb those feelings. Russ, you're getting all teary-eyed.
I know, you're making me tear up.
Already? Shit.
I'm still stuck on the dog run between the trees and just what that was like.
Yeah.
I mean, that had to be incredible.
I always, even in a full room of people, I always felt alone. I always felt alone. And I learned how to, I still had to show up. I still had to do things. I mean, even sitting here today, I was the kid when it was time to do a report or anything like that. I would raise my hand, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And they'd say yes, and I would run home. I would run home. I just wanted to hide. I wanted to be anyone else but myself. And if I knew what I know as an adult today, that those uniquenesses are actually my superpowers, it would be totally different. It would be totally different. And what people say, I didn't even know that there was any, I would have never known that I was different. I would have never fucking known that. You know what I mean? But it was always pointed out. Like, where's her off button? Can't you shut her up? Why is she moving around so much? All this stuff, and then you start looking at that, and yeah, it was rough. It was rough, and it wasn't until I found fitness that it changed everything. I mean, in the past, being a junkie on the streets, strung out on meth, my only fitness was running from the cops. So things changed. But it wasn't until I brought movement into my life that I was able to stay clean and sober. And with movement came community, and community is turned into my family. They showed me that I was lovable. They showed me how to love. They showed me so many things. They showed me how to show up for other people, things that I never learned before. They showed me that it was okay to be vulnerable, because on the streets, vulnerability is a weakness. So I think it took about 10 years till I was able to start crying again, because it was just held in for so long.
Now she cries all the time.
And my class always
tears of joy.
When I'm crying before we even start class, they know. They're like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be a rough workout." But it gives me, and that's why I, all these things. I was such a feeler, and I wanted to talk and share and love, and this and that was so smashed down that now it is so big to me, and that my classes aren't it's not just an exercise class, it's an experience. And the main thing is creating that safe space for other people to feel safe, to just be them. Like, that uniqueness is our purpose. It's our purpose. It's what we were born into this world with.
That's awesome.
A little cotton off.
Absolutely.
Karina, you mentioned before that those things that you thought were weaknesses were actually superpowers.
Yes.
And me and Russ actually have a mutual friend who states the same thing, who is dyslexic, who said that that's actually his superpower. He never knew it, he never realized it, but actually when he came to the realization of it, he said, that's my superpower. That's really my strength, not my weakness. And he utilizes that.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And it's interesting you bring up to the table, because I think a lot of people overlook that.
Yeah.
From their mental health perspective, their maybe physical perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe their weaknesses are truly their superpowers.
Right.
And they don't know how to excel yet. They don't know how to utilize it. They don't know how to bring it.
And what if we were able to let children know this?
For sure. Right.
That the uniqueness is their superpower, and it is what they were born into this world to be.
Right.
Like, we were all made for greatness. Plain and simple. That's it.
Love that. You would never know by her words that she was going to throw up this morning, right? But she did send me the throw up emoji.
I did. I was like, puking. Oh, that one. Oh,
I'm amazed, getting to know you and knowing very little about your background, but 2007 was really kind of a pivotal time going forward. Can you tell us what that time was and how the successful steps that you've taken to combat this on a daily basis?
What's my addiction?
Yes.
June 5th, 2007 was my first day clean. I can describe addiction as being in a cold cement room, alone, dark, naked, no clothes on, just so cold and alone with no hope. It's rough. It's rough. I don't even know what to say about addiction. Yeah, but what I do know is that you never give up on an addict. Because you do not know. I was that junkie in the street. I couldn't stop shooting meth. I was that addict that went into rehab after rehab, and I was the girl that they never thought would get clean. I was in and out of the program for about 17 years. I'd get a year, I'd go out, get a couple years, go out, and everyone was just giving up hope. I mean, just like they did when I was young. And you never fucking know. You never know. And, I'm not done yet, Russ.
Scared me.
I have that effect. I remember the first thing that I started out with at the trip, because then you start thinking of all the things you've accomplished in that. And this didn't start here. It started with, I was, scared. I've got many diagnoses, things going on that you can't see. And I remember all my homework from my sponsor was, I want you to go outside to your front porch for 5 minutes. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I lived on a main street, kind of, people are gonna see me, I'm gonna melt in the sun. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And so it was just little baby steps. It started with that. And and here I am today, just not giving up. And I will tell you that I still have all of those same struggles, all of the same shit going on. I mean, it's only been 5 years, about 5 years, that I'm not making holes through the bottom of my shoes. So I used to dig holes through the bottom, all the way through the bottom of my shoes to hide my anxiety. So it's all still there, but you learn how to live with yourself, and you learn how to set yourself up for success. There's steps every single day. My partner Sandy knows. She sees it. It's before I even put my feet on the ground, I'm already doubting myself. But I show up. I have a purpose, and I have a passion, and I'm not going to let anyone take that away, not even myself. And when things, when challenges show up, I face them, just like here, like, I do not want to do it. But what I do know is every challenge I face gives me more confidence for the next. And then that's what happened. So it was like going onto my porch for 5 minutes. Okay, I can do that. Maybe it was a little bit longer. Maybe it was going out to the mailbox. I mean, it was literally like that. That's the way it was.
Speaking of your success journey, though, you beat this.
That whole sentence is just weird. Can you just say that? Can you just say that one more time?
Speaking of your success journey, right? You beat this addiction. to an entire career in fitness, created your own business, Fuel Fitness, right?
Yes.
Tell us what that was like. What was it like your first time teaching a class, your first time you had a class?
Gosh. So I have challenges and hurdles. Russ, you can't. Don't look that way. Russ. So I got a certification as a personal trainer because, well, how it started is I used to take classes with people and they'd be like, oh my gosh, you should be the one teaching that. There's no fucking way I'm getting up in front of these people. Mind you, it took me years to just get 5 minutes on my front porch.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's no way. And so I went and got my personal training certificate. Right, Rosie? And I was good with that. And I was working at a gym, and one of their instructors didn't show up for like a cardio kickboxing class. I don't even teach cardio kickboxing. Like, I have a martial arts background. And they said, Carina, we need you to teach. And it's like, hell no, no way. And they were like, oh my God, we don't have anyone. There's all these, I mean, it was a full room. It was a full room of people. But I did have a spiritual practice, and I do have blind faith, and I do have a belief that things happen for a reason. So I was like, hold on. So I went into the bathroom, and I just cried. I just cried, and I was like, what if this is something bigger? Like, you know, what if, like, I knew through recovery that miracles happen every day. I mean, there's a room full of miracles right now. And just come on, Carina. And so I found a playlist. I've got lots of them. Found about 900 of them, actually. I don't have an addictive personality. So I found this playlist. I was like, this will work. And I went out there. I said, okay. And I went out there, and I turned the music on, and it was actually the safest place that I ever felt in my whole entire life. Because it wasn't about me, it was about everyone else in that room.
Yeah.
And that, I haven't stopped, I haven't looked back. I was like, when can I start teaching? I want more. And that was actually just until about maybe 8 or 9 years ago, I was teaching, probably less than that. I was teaching 24 classes a week. Because I just loved it so much. And I created this beautiful community, they're all proud. This beautiful community of people that, again, like I said, showed me so many things in myself that I did not even know were there. Like, people come to classes and they don't even realize everything they're doing for us up there. So.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We always end our podcast with a statement. Really, it's a question, but it's, wellness is not perfection. And we heard it earlier from Aaron. Wellness is not perfection, but it's progress. And we were in Pittsburgh, and we were interviewing some kids. And so we interviewed one kid, and he gave us a great answer. And then we went to the next kid, and we said, hey, what do you think? Wellness is not perfection, but progress. And he said, yes. We're like, all right, great answer. Keep it up. So our podcast, Jewel Coast, wellness is not perfection, but progress. Can you expound upon that in our closing?
Shit, it sounds like my life. Right? And it's actually something that we say in AA and NA. It's progress, not perfection. Because that's what it's about. It's about progress. It's about being and tapping into the best version of you each time. Yeah. You know what's beautiful?
What?
Is your hair.
Thank you. Wait.
Let's do it.
Wait. Now, my mother, who is somewhere over 70 years old, Mom, I have a message for you. What did you just say about my hair?
Where is she? She's like, she give me the look like, don't say it. Your hair's beautiful.
Thank you. She always wants me to get a haircut. That's who I am.
But I just want to say thank you so much for letting me be part of this. I feel so honored. What you've brought together here in Santa Cruz is absolutely amazing. You lead with the heart, and that's the type of homie that I am too. Leading with the heart is the only way, it's the best way. And I just appreciate you so much. And just honored to be on stage with you.
Thank you. Likewise. And thank you for all that have come here to support you. Thank you for coming because, you know, it shows who you are, that you've got a supporting cast. I watch your videos. I see you on Instagram. People that are moving and jumping because of this woman who is out there showing it. And it's not about perfection. It's about progress.
Yes.
And for your entire life, even though you've had hurdles, you're
Feels like it's been
progressing.
100 years.
You are progressing. And so thank you for being a huge part of today on Dual
Thank you
Coast
so much.
and Impact Santa Cruz today. Let's give it up for Carina Reid.
You get all my. Thank you. Thanks, Dan. Thank you.
I met our next speaker at A to B conference in Stamford, Connecticut. And actually we met in Orange County.